All and welcome. We have a quorum. Good. Oh, wow. Excuse me, guys. I got to readjust my view so I see who's here. Fantastic. Okay, great. Welcome all to the September 28th, 2021, 6:15 p.m. open session meeting of the Ayer Planning Board. At the beginning of this meeting, I get to read this wonderful paragraph. Due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, in accordance with Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021, suspending certain provisions of the Open Meeting Law, OML, public bodies otherwise governed by the OML are temporarily relieved from the requirement that meetings be held in public places, open and physically accessible to the public, so long as measures are taken to ensure public access to the body's deliberations, through adequate alternative means. This meeting will be live on Zoom. The public may participate remotely by joining Zoom. The meeting ID is 833-6548-0732 or by calling 929-205-6099. For additional information about remote participation, please contact Heather Hampson, the Administrative Coordinator, at hhampson@ayer.ma.us or 978-772-8220, extension 145 prior to the meeting. Thank you for your patience. Our first order of business is to approve the agenda. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Diskin.
Seconded.
Thank you, Ms. Murray, for a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, we're back to roll call voting. Mr. King, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Murray, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Diskin, how do you vote?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Fantastic. Next on our agenda is a covenant or bond release, and we have none this evening. So next on our agenda is a public hearing, definitive subdivision for Wright Road, Stratton Hill. We also have two other items that are very similar. One is the public hearing stormwater management permit for Wright Road, Stratton Hill. And the third is a site plan review, Ayer zoning bylaw section 9.6, land clearing and grading, Wright Road, Stratton Hill. In a moment, I'm going to ask for a motion for continuance on these three. I will take a moment, though, because there may be some confusion. The applicant for the Wright Road Stratton Hill project has asked us to continue until our second meeting in October. Am I correct, Mark Archambault?
Yes, you are. October
Okay.
26th.
Thank you, for October 26th. And just as a public service announcement, it is a strange quirk of the laws of Massachusetts that we have to keep this on our agenda, and we'll have it on the agenda for every meeting between now and October 26th. And it is my expectation that we will take it up to continue, and that's it. With that said, may I have a motion, please, for the continuation for these three items? We should probably do them individually, please.
I'll make a motion that the planning board continue the public hearing for the definitive subdivision for the Wright Road, Stratton Hill, OSRD till October 26th. To the next planning board meeting. I guess we have to do it meeting by meeting, right?
Yes, thank you.
Seconded.
Moved by Mr. Diskin, seconded by Ms. Murray. Any discussion from the board members? Hearing none. Mr. King, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Murray, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Diskin, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Thank you. May I have another motion, please, Mr. Diskin?
I'll move that the Town of Ayer Planning Board continue the public hearing for the stormwater management permit for this proposed subdivision on Wright Road, Stratton Hill to the next planning board meeting.
Thank you.
Seconded.
Moved by Mr. Diskin, seconded by Ms. Murray. Any discussion from planning board members? Hearing none. Mr. King, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Murray, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Diskin?
Aye.
And chair votes aye. Mr. Diskin, would you please do a third motion?
I move that the planning board continue the site plan review under Ayer zoning bylaw section 9.6, which is land clearing and grading for the Wright Road proposal for the Stratton Road OSR subdivision to the next planning board meeting.
Thank you.
Seconded.
Moved by Mr. Diskin, seconded by Ms. Murray. Any discussion amongst the planning board members? Hearing none. Mr. King, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Murray, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Diskin?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Thank you very much. And for people who are watching or are concerned, we will do this again in the next meeting. If anything changes, we'll let you know. But that's a strange quirk of Mass General Law that we have to follow. Thanks. Next on our agenda is a continued site plan. I believe that's a site plan review, Mark, for 60 Central Avenue.
Yeah.
Correct.
Got it. Thank you.
Yep.
Do we have the proponent with us? I think Mr. Hayes is here.
I am.
Who do you have with you tonight, Mr. Hayes?
I'm here. Mr. Flores, Alex Flores is here as well, the applicant owner.
Fantastic. Thank you. I know there's been a little bit of back and forth today between your office and Mark's office. Why don't we give Mark a quick chance to give us a quick update, and then we'll move forward.
Yep.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Okay, as I outlined in my staff report that went out last Friday, since the last time we met on this case, we received comments from the Ayer DPW through the town engineer, Dan Van Schalkwyk. He had fairly minor comments, and then a week later, we received comments from Mr. Hayes addressing those comments and also addressing plan changes based on the prior meeting that the planning board held a few weeks ago. And considering that we're very close to the end of the 90-day review period for the case, if the planning board is ready, I prepared special conditions of approval, which we can get to after. I recommend that the planning board first entertain Mr. Hayes updating the board on the changes to the plan since the last time the planning board reviewed this. And also, something I should mention is the planning office received a letter from an abutter, Mr. Norman Buck at 58 Central Avenue, who I believe is also in the audience this evening. He wrote a 2-page letter covering many issues that I think we should discuss tonight before we take action.
Thank you for mentioning that. I was actually going to mention that also. I'm not sure if the members of the planning board were able to see the letter in their email today. Can I just ask if you've seen it or not?
I saw it.
Thank you. I've seen shaking of head yes, and from other members. Fantastic. Thank you. Okay. But I did thank you very much for mentioning that, Mr. Buck. I do want you to rest assured that we will, I believe a copy was shared with the proponent, and we'll take that up also this evening. Great. Are you all set, Mark?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Hayes, you want to dive right? Excuse me. Do I have any questions of the board in the beginning, or should we just let Mr. Hayes go forward?
I'd like to be assured that Mr. Hayes will actually read his letter of September 7th for clarification first before we go into anything that happened after September 7th.
So you want me to read my letter?
Yeah, just go through the highlights if you want of the things that you addressed in that letter that came up previously, because I thought the letter was pretty comprehensive.
Right, that starts, whoops, on page 3 of my staff report, Scott.
Right.
I stuffed it in there.
Yeah, okay.
I was wondering, you're getting good at writing books, Mark. You know, these tomes that you put together. It's just plagiarism, huh? Copy and paste. Go ahead. Yeah, if you don't mind, Mr. Hayes, you might want to take it up in that order.
Sure.
It'll probably help guide the conversation.
I just need a minute to bring it up here.
Okay.
So this was, just to clarify, Mark, this letter was sent to the DPW before they responded back to us. I believe they had this letter as well as the revised drawings.
Right.
Then they
Yes.
responded back, having this in their possession.
Yeah, that's correct. Yes, I put Dan's letter replying before. I believe I put the right. So I
Okay.
should have done it in reverse order, but yes. Mr. Hayes made comments, which the DPW addressed later. Yeah.
Mr. Hayes, you have the floor.
Oh, okay. So I'll just go through point by point the original response letter from September 7th, I guess, if we want to start there.
Yes, please.
So there were comments from, these were general comments from the planning board initially. Number one was clarification on trash removal, which is proposed to be by rolling container from each unit garage. Item two was the extent of ledge, and we kind of got into that in great detail at the last hearing. That we've done quite a few probative deep test holes out there to determine the ledge profile, and have subsequently revised the plan a few iterations ago to raise the garage floor as much as possible and the basement floor to kind of step it up and really minimize and likely eliminate any bedrock removal required for the foundation excavation. So that raising of the building also allowed us to eliminate the property line along the east, the retaining wall along the east property line, and reduce the retaining wall proposed on the west property line substantially down to about 25 feet and less than 4 feet in height. So we didn't quite eliminate all the retaining walls, but we eliminated one entirely and reduced one by about 3/4 of its original proposed length. So by kind of working with the ledge profile elevations out there. Item three is related to the erosion control. We beefed up the erosion control plan, added erosion controls across the front of the site, added a stabilized crushed stone construction entrance typical of a construction site from the edge of pavement of Central Ave into the site for tracking, prevent tracking of mud and soil sediment onto the street. Kind of a standard construction type thing, and also confine the limits of work to within either construction fence along the side lot line, since we're in cut along the property line, and erosion control barriers across the back and the front. So the work area is encapsulated by either erosion controls or construction fencing. Okay, so that covers item 4. Item 5. Yeah, the board had asked a few meetings back about the access driveway width and location. And I had a meeting with Dan at DPW and went over his original letter point by point, and we talked about the driveway width, and we kind of threw around the idea of reducing the width below 18 feet and decided it was not advisable to do so. And so we've left the driveway at 18 feet in width. Also confirmed the location. He concurred with me. The location made the most sense for safe access in and out of the site at 90 degrees to the street and the approach to the building. So it was determined to be an acceptable alignment and location by our meeting. We submitted stormwater calculations for the site, sizing the stormwater. We've got a subsurface stormwater bed in the front and a couple of catch basins in the driveway that feed that, and also take the entirety of the roof runoff into it. And that bed is connected to the municipal street drain that runs along the frontage. So we did calculations for that. And as a result of, I'll just go through Dan's comments really quick. The existing sidewalk across the frontage of the site, about 100 feet, is proposed to be replaced with new 5-foot wide bituminous sidewalk and new bituminous curbing. It's all not in great condition as of now. And by the time we're done, with utility connections and curb roundings, we probably pretty much destroy the serviceability of it anyway. So the driveway is proposed to be, the sidewalks proposed to be rebuilt along the frontage. we made mention of the fire sprinkler service size. So the building's a sprinklered building, and so it'll have two gated services from the street, 2-inch copper, and a domestic service and a fire service. And we just went over some of the details on the connection of the water line to the building. We're on the 2-inch to the front of the building, and then split it off via shutoffs in front of the building to 1-inch lines to each of the units from there. That was the desired layout. I was provided by DPW for that. Just really adding some specifications to what we'd already shown. Sewer service size at 6-inch SDR35, it's a standard DPW requirement. The water shutoffs and fire shutoffs, just went over that. So, we're gated at the street, and then we've got individual unit shutoffs in the parking lot in front of the building. Number 6 is related to the water service size. I just touched on that. For the fire and the domestic service sizes are proposed at 2-inch. Sewer service location, originally we had it running through the stormwater bed, which wasn't acceptable to DPW.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize I had a hot mic here. I'm sorry.
That's okay. So the sewer service has been relocated. There's actually a sewer manhole at the back of the sidewalk out there that is a drop that runs into the main in the street, and we're authorized to just tie into that existing manhole, which is in good condition. So, but we got the sewer service well outside the stormwater bed area. Just providing rim and invert information on the sewer and drainage infrastructure. That's all on the plan. Landscaping. So we did revise the landscaping a bit. We added, I think there's 3 deciduous, specimen type trees, landscape trees proposed in the frontage and the shoulder between the parking lot and the back of the sidewalk in that area, that green space there. And we proposed 3 across the back on the slope at the rear of the building, kind of set back a bit. That in addition to the evergreen screens, arborvitae or equal kind of columnar, narrow growing screening vegetation along the side lot lines between the site in number 58 and number 62.
Mr. Hayes.
Yes.
Chair, if I may, I think it'd be good if we could bring up if you could share a screen of that, because that is one of the pointed concerns of Mr. Buck.
So actually, first 2 things, Mr. King, thank you very much for speaking up. We are in Zoom rules, so I may not be looking at the screen. If you want to speak up, just say something, and we'll get you into the loop. That's for everybody, including people who are sitting in the who are here joining us from the general public. Sharing the screen. There we go. I wasn't sure if Mr. Hayes could do it, but there you go. I was just about, I've been following along with you, and this will actually help me ask a couple questions also. So,
yeah, a lot of this is kind of just mundane detail stuff, but I'm almost through it, so I'll try to just quickly finish.
I like yours. It's in color. Mine isn't.
Yeah, I worked on that this afternoon.
Okay.
Could you just rewind though a little bit there, Mr. Hayes, and go back to the deciduous trees you talked about between the sidewalk and the front?
Sure.
Just jump right in on that while we're here.
So these 3 circles, can you see where I'm pointing?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so these 3 are deciduous trees here. It's the parking lot edge in gray here. This is the sidewalk. And we've got 3 trees in this shoulder area here, and 3 more across the back near the top of the slope there. We were going to lose a couple of hardwoods in the back corner over here due to grading, so we're just adding some more deciduous type trees, specimen type landscape trees back here, red maple or some such. there's a bit of red maple back here and some, I think there was red oak up there as well, but, pretty, upland, dry, arid kind of growing trees, which I tried to stick with that. And then the screenings are shown along the side lot lines, on the east and west lines. Pretty
And
much.
Mr. Scott, I think you forgot, if you could backtrack, I think you forgot to mention the vertical granite curb that was requested by MassDOT.
Oh yeah, that's on here as well. So yeah, the driveway entrance, I mean, we've got a standard MassDOT curb cut, and we've specified that with granite returns, granite transitions where it meets the sidewalk and crosses the sidewalk. And that specification's been added to the plan as well.
Might be a trick to do that because of the sidewalk and the driveway are basically at the same elevation without, having cuts on the sidewalk to match, slope down and come back up. So,
well, you can do a transition, from the gutter. You've got about 6 inches to overcome. You may have to push the sidewalk back a foot or two to maintain the 3 foot minimum width for passage of a wheelchair by ADA, but it can be done. It's a little tricky here. I mean, we've got a utility pole. We've also got to get around. So just got to make sure we have that 3 foot clear, not going over the transition piece. The transition return though on those for those driveways doesn't extend very far from the gutter. I think about.
Okay. I like the detail. Just want to make sure that we don't create more of an issue there. So I guess you won't. Thank you.
Okay. Should I continue on with following the letter?
Just keep going. I think I
Yes,
like
please.
the idea of going through this, if you don't mind, Mr. Chair, because I think it details the changes that have been put in the plan. So I'm
No, I Ken, you know that I'm very happy with having an organized conversation. This is working very well. So we'll pick up Mr. Buck's letter when we're done with this and include that. Okay.
go ahead,
So
Scott.
Yeah.
Scott, please.
On to number 12, just a comment from DPW regarding pedestrian access to the rear of the building, which we added to the west side of the building from the corner unit 4 up the side of the building. And just some DPW notes. All utilities and paving in accordance with Ayer DPW specifications, that's been added to the plan.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. The footpath I get, 13, extent of retaining walls has been substantially reduced on the revised plan.
Yeah, I thought I already covered that. No.
Okay, go ahead. I'm putting check marks on my piece of paper, okay?
But yeah. So because of the bedrock probing, we adjusted the building elevations and the parking lot grading and kind of picked up things as much as we could. We ended up stepping the foundation at the rear 10 feet a foot as well to kind of keep the bottom of footing at or just above the ledge of the bedrock profile. So in doing that and raising the building, we didn't have to cut as much, and we had a little bit more room to grade to the property line. So we were able to, substantially reduce the retaining walls that we had anticipated being required. I mean, the building itself, we've got a 15-foot side yard setback on each side, and I think the building's set at 16 feet on each side. So had a tremendous amount of space to get positive drainage away from the building and return, the site to existing grade. But again, through the soil bedrock probing, we were able to kind of rework the grading and eliminate those walls. So I mean, it's good for in the amount of earthwork that needs to be done out there, the site disturbance, the amount of bedrock removed, all those things have been drastically improved. Plus the cost of not having to build hundreds of feet of retaining wall for the applicant, which is a good result for him. Again, 14 and 15, the notes, just standard DPW notes regarding things are being done DPW specifications, contractor obtain all necessary DPW permits prior to work. Okay, so 16 was related to comment related to construction surety bond. I spoke to Dan about that last week, just for clarification. He was looking to bond the construction in total of the site, but the all the site work involved with, utility connections and stabilization of the site, paving and loaming. So we did put together a preliminary bond estimate. We provided that to the board today. I know, I'm sure no one's had a chance to review it yet, but we've come up with a calculation and it's subject to approval by the board and by DPW. I assume the intent of that was just surety that the site isn't, left a mess if things go awry. I mean, usually typically surety is involved in subdivision roadway construction, not on private land development. So I assume there's purpose behind the board's inquiry into that, and Dan's kind of bringing it up, which maybe you can enlighten me on.
We can have a separate conversation on that, I think.
Sure. So that gets us through the September 7th revision. And since then, we had a meeting a couple of weeks ago and kind of went over most of this already. Since then, we did make some minor revisions to the plan. We added the snow storage areas just to demonstrate that we have adequate snow storage on the site. Those are shown, if you look at the plan view, those are shown in blue. And labeled snow storage area 1, 2, and 3. One to the left of the parking lot as you pull in, between the parking lot itself and the shoulder of Central Ave here. Those are each about 500 square feet, and then a small area, the tail end of the turnout here. It's only 160 additional square feet, but results in about 1,160 square feet of snow storage for a 3,500 square foot parking lot, which is about 33% of the lot area. And typical engineering practice for snow storage calculations or provision would be 10% of the lot area. So, I mean, there's adequate storage here by design calc. I mean, obviously we can't plan for snowfall in excessive amounts. So we added a note under general note 6 to just state in accordance with, I think, the general bylaws of the town. And, if we exceed the storage capacity of snow on the sites, to be removed from the site. So just to put the snow storage issue to bed. The other thing, so that was the plan revision. We submitted the bond calculation, and also DPW has to submit the operation and maintenance plan document that would basically be attached to the homeowners association, which we've done that, submitted that today as well for the stormwater bed and for the catch basin maintenance. And that's what I have. We did receive Mr. Buck's letter today. I did read it, but maybe I'll let the board direct that conversation.
Okay, thank you. Questions about Mr. Hayes's presentation up to this point from anybody?
I was satisfied with the revisions to the plan and the letter that he submitted.
Thank you. I'm actually, Mr. Hayes, can I ask you to make this a little smaller, maybe 50%, just so I can see a little more of the building?
Too much? Is that good?
Yeah. Let's bring it in bring it up one more. Otherwise, I got to put my magnifying glasses on. Thank you. Okay. I'm looking for the walkway on the western side of the building. I see it now. Okay, great. No, I believe it starts from the catch basin. You can't see me.
Right at the corner of the building.
Yep, I got it.
Comes up the side.
Okay. Thank you very much. When I was trying to keep track, the depth and at the back of the buildable lot, just before the proposed limit of work, those 3 deciduous trees I'm hoping that there's going to be enough depth of soil to support trees up there. Now, to be honest with you, I have not looked to see what's up there in current growth. Are there trees of that caliber or larger up there now?
Yeah, I mean, it's sparsely wooded.
Okay.
There's mature trees, maples and oaks up there. It's mostly hardwood, but it's not densely wooded. It looks like it's been managed over time. And keep in mind also that of the half-acre lot here, I mean, we're only altering or redeveloping half of it, about 12,000 square feet, the front half, and the rear half, it does have is natural and wooded and kind of very nice, is to remain untouched. So
yeah, no, well, thank you. No, I just want to make sure that we're going to plant trees where there's soil to plant them.
Well, yeah,
tough soil to plant them.
I think I think that we will, based on the probing we did. We got good depth, 5-6 feet around, and where we're proposing the trees is sort of at the limit of the cut. So I think we should be in good shape there.
Thank you. Any other questions on the plan at this point from members? Why don't we take up Mr. Buck's letter? Mark Archambault, I'm going to ask a question. Should we read the letter into the record, and then take up the items on the letter? Mark, you're on mute.
Well, I was thinking, since Mr. Buck is in the audience, maybe he could summarize it without reading every line, or if you'd like to read it.
I just want to make sure it gets in the record. So,
Right.
Does it need to be read? Because we don't have a clerk this evening. Unfortunately, our clerk is not here, and I'm more than happy to give it a read if you all want, if you don't mind. I'm just going to go forward and do it really quickly. September 25th, 2021. Sure. Planning Board, Town of Ayer, 1 Main Street, Ayer, Mass. 01432, regarding 60 Central Ave site plan. A request of fencing and tall vegetation be excluded in the area bordering 58 Central Ave within 6 feet of the sidewalk. Our driveway is very close to the property line, and the experiences show that plants and other items in this area can interfere with our visibility of pedestrians and traffic on Central Ave when exiting. The sightline for traffic exiting from 58 Central Ave is either side of the utility pole. Thank you. Can you point out the utility pole so we all know where it is? It's that one there. Thank you very much. Okay.
Do you want to take these items one at a time? Because it doesn't appear that there's anything new in that area. In fact, it looks clearer than it is right now. It's kind of wooded and vegetated right now.
Yeah, Ken, let me go through the letter just quickly. It's just not that much. Okay. I mean, it is. I would say not a lot of extra in the letter, but it talks about the different issues, and I want to make sure we touch them all. Okay. And he goes on to say, ahead of the pole requires extending the nose of the vehicle on the road before the ability to see the approaching traffic. The volume and speed of traffic in Central Ave has increased in recent years. Blocking the sight line makes exiting our driveway a potentially deadly game of chicken with large moving metal objects. The site plan shown at the September 14th meeting included widening the driveway entrance towards 58 Central Ave. The engineer stated this would come close to the existing utility pole. The previous owner had a dumpster in this area. More than once after emptying the dumpster was placed at the sidewalk edge, and we had to request it to be moved back so we could safely exit our driveway. Another concern with our wider driveway closer to 58 Central Ave is larger snow piles, both from driveway plowing contractor and town sidewalk clearing. The town sidewalk clearing operation respects driveway openings and deposits the snow in the area after a driveway. The normal clearing route for this sidewalk is from Groton Harvard Road towards the center of town. So that's going to go from an east to a westerly direction, I believe. This means the additional snow from the larger driveway width will be piled in the smaller area between the driveways, again, potentially interfering with the ability to safely exit our driveway. With mailboxes and trash can space located on the other side of the driveway opening, we expect the plowing contractor to create snow piles at the base of the driveway on 58 Central Ave side, interfering with the ability to safely exit our driveway. Estimating from the site plans presented, there appears to be more driveway area to clear and less area on site to store the snow. The area in front of the parking area towards 62 Central Ave has previously been used to pile snow. This area will include mailboxes, trash can area, and existing fire hydrant, so we'll store less snow. What provisions are to be made to store the snow to minimize the pile at base of driveway towards 58 Central Ave? Then it goes on to say the proposed plan does include more impervious area of the water and snow melt that must be controlled. The proposed catch basin will buffer some rain and snow melt. From experience, heavy rain or snow melt will run down the driveway to the street unless other provisions are made for this flow. The spring day-night temperature will cause melt and refreeze cycles. Previously, at least one car from 60 Central Ave has ended up on the Nashua Valley Express retaining wall across the street. The proposed 4 units will have a larger number of cars and traffic using this driveway. Thank you, Norman Buck, 58 Central Ave, Ayer, Mass. 01432. So that's the letter and the concerns for from Mr. Buck. So as I look at the letter, the first is the sightline for traffic exiting 58 Central Ave. And I guess what I wanted to ask Mr. Hayes is, you got the letter today. Are there changes you want to propose to this, or where do you think you stand?
No, I think we're in good shape. Again, I went over the driveway location. We're essentially, we've got the driveway in the same location. It's just it's wider than what was there, and we've widened it and aligned it so, you know, for safe ingress egress from the site at 90 degrees. And with respect to the sight lines, we're not doing anything to obstruct the sight lines further than the existing utility pole obstructs the sight line in that area. But proposed plantings, they're set back 18 feet minimum from the back of the sidewalk. So nothing that we're proposing to plant is within, you know, the site distance lines from an entering or exiting vehicle.
Okay.
I think I addressed the snow storage issue already earlier.
And the plans I'm looking at are a little bit different than the plans you have, I think. Maybe it's just that the color. So there is no fence after construction. There will be no fence on the western edge of the property.
No, that's just temporary erosion control and construction fence. Yeah.
Thank you.
The only permanent fixture on the west lot line would be that retaining wall, a 25-foot long retaining wall.
Can you point, and is that the purple line?
That's the purple line here, yeah.
So that's going to start, it's hard to tell where that is on the property, but that's how many, what would be your estimate? I'm looking at, if I'm looking at the measurements on the front, am I correct in reading there's a 50-foot wide driveway?
No, it's 50 feet. That's the setback of the front of the building from the sideline of Central Ave.
Okay, so the
yeah. Wall is probably starts about 40 feet back from the sideline of the road, and the sideline of the road is about maybe 5 or 6 feet behind the utility pole. You know, so if you need a rough idea,
yeah, thank you.
45 feet back from the utility pole is about where that ret wall starts on the west line.
Okay, so there's no fencing being proposed or plantings being proposed. I think Mr. Buck asked for 6 feet back at least. So that sounds like that issue.
Yeah, we're set back 18 feet from the sidewalk, as I said, with any plantings.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Snow storage remains an issue. So that's the next issue, excuse me, on Mr. Buck's. And Mr. Buck, speak up, please, if you think I'm missing something, but snow piles. So basically what you're saying, if the gray area is the sidewalk, correct?
Yeah.
In the front, that runs along the front of the building.
This is the sidewalk.
Okay. So what you're showing is snow storage for the parking lot in the blue boxes, correct?
Right.
Okay, so sidewalk snow storage is something Mr. Buck would like to have some information on.
Well, I mean, yeah, I can address that. Yeah, so our snow storage is limited to the sideline of the right of way, which leaves about 6 feet between the back edge of the sidewalk and the right of way line for snow storage for the sidewalk. So there's still adequate shoulder between the back of the sidewalk to behind the hydrant in that area. You got to remember too, the grade is much lower at Central Ave. So you've got the sidewalk and a bit of a shoulder, and then it climbs a slope and climbs about 3 or 4 feet up to where this parking lot is. So they're really distinctly separate areas, separated by a slope and by distance.
Okay. Mr. Buck, do you have a comment?
Yes. My concern is the piling of snow right around where that utility pole is, behind it and towards my house from it.
So on the drawing, that would be below the, I'm going to say the left-hand blue rectangle. That
Yeah,
there.
the bottom of that.
Yeah.
And,
So
you
between
know,
that and the road, Mr. Hayes.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, please.
the lot line is shown on the plan in the yellow that's shown on the colored screen.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The proponent has demonstrated that he's going to store the snow that's from the new parking lot within his own premises that's in the parking lot.
Mhm.
The sidewalk plowing situation of where that goes, I guess we're just making a guess that there's enough room down there, but we're still talking about a job that's done by the town of Ayer rather than the proponent's condominium. So I'm not quite sure how we can get a perfect solution to that. That's what I'm getting at.
No, I appreciate your comment, Mr. Diskin. I just wanted to make sure we understood what the
Yeah.
Mr. Buck's
Well,
concern is.
my concern there is the driveway is actually wider, which will give us a smaller area for the town to pile that snow, making a bigger pile, which will cut our visibility. You know, you've expanded the driveway towards our side. You've taken that whatever 5 or 6 feet between the pole and the existing driveway, and you've turned that into more driveway, which is more snow area that's got to get moved over by the town into a smaller area along the sidewalk. So there will be a large pile, you know, in that area right around the pole at the sidewalk. And that's a critical area for our visibility of getting out of our driveway.
Let me ask you a question, Mr. Buck. I was out there today and I took another walk around, right around that utility pole right now, and I'll ask the proponent the same thing. There's a large tree that's got many roots, 3
There's a,
roots,
yeah,
trunks coming out of it. Is
that's
that-
that's been a problem on and off. We've ended up doing trimming over the year of that. You know, we do have a sight line between that and the pole existing.
I was going to say
Yeah.
that tree looks like a problem to me.
Yeah, that is part of the problem. I dealt with that with a previous owner and trimmed stuff back and have trimmed.
Well-
But there's a sight line that goes between that group of small trees and the pole, which is how we can see traffic coming, when you try and pull out of our driveway.
I guess my question would be to the proponent, to Alex now, and to Scott Hayes. Your drawing doesn't indicate that any of those trees remain the way I'm looking at it. It looks like it's completely cleared. Is that your intention?
Yes.
So to answer to some of Mr. Buck's concern, if that was completely cleared, Mr. Buck, and the first new deal on that location with the plantings that he's shown, that would be wide open and create more snow storage ultimately than you have right now, I believe.
Yeah, it gives you some more, but you will end up with larger piles there,
Okay.
both from plowing the driveway and the town doing the sidewalk, and that's my concern.
Okay.
And I know the blue box is set back beyond the property line, but by the way the plowing contractors typically work and how the town is working there, they're going to fill up that space.
Okay.
That's my concern. My concern is we come down to the bottom of our driveway and just plain can't see the cars.
Okay.
So we're pulling out into traffic blind.
Yep. And at this point in time, Mr. Buck, does that condition exist now?
Right now, no. There has been times in the winter where I've had to go back and push snow piles back at the bottom of the hill when we get enough accumulation there. From when the town doing the sidewalk and from storms. You know, they really haven't piled it from the driveway there in the past because it's been far enough away from the driveway. But the sidewalk, the town doing sidewalk does fill that area up. And when you get a heavy winter, it very much needs to be cut back.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, because if it's similar to my driveway over here, it doesn't seem to matter how often I have to go back out there and cut the banks back, especially with the last couple of years. I don't know. Can you, Mr. Hayes, is the proponent willing to specify in the condominium documents that the driveway be plowed in to the property?
Well, they can't pile snow in the right of way of the road by law.
Yeah. I mean,
they've got to plow it into the site and cross blade it to the west snow storage area coming in, and then when they sweep west to east, they can cross blade it to the snow storage area along Central Ave and push it off to the smaller area in the turnout. But I mean, you know, we've got a good 15 feet of separation between the parking lot edge and the property line. I mean, I don't know how Mr. Buck can plow his driveway without plowing snow onto 60 Central Ave. To be honest with you, his driveway is only a few feet off the lot line there. I mean, we've got adequate snow storage areas adjacent to this parking lot to do it.
Okay.
You know, and look, there's a public sidewalk there and the street, and obviously nothing can be done on site that would you know, inhibit access to those areas or create a nuisance with snow removal. So I think it can all be contained on the site within the areas we've designated.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else from the board have a comment on this issue? At this time? No, okay. I want to ask a couple more points that are in Mr. Buck's letter. So actually what I was going to ask Mr. Hayes, if there was a snow management plan written for this, that they make sure that they plow into the snow storage areas. And I do agree with you that it is illegal to put snow on the right of way. Have been a snow contractor for most of my life and done condominiums, believe it or not. But you know, sometimes people get tired and make a mistake. If we could make a note to that, that would be probably very helpful. Yeah. The mailbox location. I noticed on the plans that we have a proposed mail kiosk of 4 boxes, location orientation per USPS postmaster. I read that comment and I'm curious, have you already been to the post office to ask where and how they want to place it? Or are you going to ask them before it gets installed?
Maybe Alex, can you unmute your mic? And I don't know if you spoke to the post office about that.
This isn't a trick question, by the way.
No, I know. I just don't know if Alex has talked to him. I think he got the specification on the kiosk from the postmaster.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he discussed the location with him, and that's how we ended up with it there. I decided to put it there. So
I'm going to put my cards on the table. This is not a trick question. I'm coming home from work in the evening, especially this time of day when it's dark out. An automobile is going to pull in and stop at the kiosk and create a traffic jam and a sightline problem on a very busy street if the kiosk sits close to the apron of the driveway. That's just an experience I've had. So I would wonder if there would be somewhere deeper in the property it could be put.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what the postal service's objective is here, whether they like it closer to the street or they prefer it to be interior to the parking lot and then turn around. They need the flexibility to determine where it goes.
And what I've discovered, if I may, and I'm not going to speak for the Postal Service at all, but if you were to say to them, gee, your car is going to have it hanging out on a busy street to get their mail, or the second car is going to stop behind it, they may be a little flexible on where it gets put. They also probably want to get their postal service, because now they're just serving kiosks. They probably want to get their postal employee off the street also. And will that the expectation package delivery? Will package delivery happen at the entrances on the building, or will package delivery happen at the kiosk in a common box?
I think that there's a parcel box in the kiosk,
Okay.
I believe.
Yeah, just in today's days, we get a lot more traffic at the kiosk, and I would make the request that when you go to citing this, that they have that quick discussion, that it's not put right at the edge of the property where it's going to, if it's possible, impede the sidewalk or put somebody who's turning in trouble. That's all. It can't always be done, but if you bring it up, they say, oh yeah, that makes sense. Let's move it 4 feet, the width of the kiosk, and it makes it better. Might make it better. That would also move it up the hill and reduce it as a impediment to sight lines from 58th driveway. If it was moved deeper into the property, if that's possible. It's really quiet in this meeting all of a sudden.
Well, I mean,
That's okay, Scott.
Well, no, we're at the mercy of the postmaster.
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
So we're happy to move it onto the site if it's acceptable to them. I think.
Yeah, I think that's what I needed to hear. To be honest with you, I think the board needed to hear. Not me, but the board. Scott, I have worked with lots of local post offices, and to be honest with you, they have rules about how they can access the things, but they do not want to put their people in danger either. They want them out of the flow of traffic as much as possible. And so I think we may find that that's amenable, and that might be a solution to reducing the sight lines there also, which is one of Mr. Buck's concerns. Anybody else have any comments?
Yes.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, excuse me. I got Mr. King got to me first, and who's asking to be recognized? It's just a phone number.
that would be Pauline Jeff.
Okay.
Pauline Conley, Cambridge Street.
Great, Pauline, would you please wait a moment?
Sure.
Thanks. We'll let the board take this up. Go ahead, Mr. King.
I'll be brief. The other question that came up was trash. As I've been by that street, if you have 48 Central is parking a lot of trash out on the street as well. So I think it's a legitimate concern. Is it known how trash will be handled? Is it going to be a dumpster? Is it going to be individual? Is that known at this point?
It was mentioned in the plans, but I'll let Mr. Hayes answer it.
Yeah, it's going to be rolling container from each unit.
Okay.
So my assumption is you're going to contract with a hauler, and they will roll the containers down to the curb once a week for pickup. You're on mute, sir.
Correct. Sorry.
Thank you very much. And I assume they're going to put it on what would be the west side of the driveway apron, if possible.
Yes.
Okay. I think that would also minimize, or it would put the items farther away than 58, the driveway at 58.
I think it means east, Mr. Chair.
You know me well enough, Mr. Diskin, to know that I am challenged when it comes to many things. And yes, I'm looking at it saying to the right's west, but it would be on the east side of the driveway, on the Groton Harvard Road side of the driveway.
I guess I should.
In the middle of the property. Yeah,
Yes.
there.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Sorry.
There. Yeah.
Yes.
That I can guess.
You don't know how many times I say to people, go left, and I put my right arm out and they go the wrong way. It happens a lot in my life. Okay, Mr. King, you all set? Thank you. Okay, Ms. Conley, Pauline.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. King beat me to my question because that was it, the trash. And I appreciate that you are cognizant of the issues at 48, which I have dialogued with various other boards, including the trash hauler for the last several months, because every Friday, actually it begins Thursday afternoon at about noon, the rolling trash containers start appearing at 48 Central, and on occasion completely block the sidewalk.
Mhm.
So my question, and I think I asked at the very first meeting that the planning board had regarding 60 Central about the trash, and Mr. Hayes at the time said it would be in an area off the sidewalk. And I just want to be sure that off the sidewalk means off the sidewalk, because whatever hauler is involved is probably going to push back and say, no, 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 we can only pick up trash that is located on the sidewalk. So I shared that information with you, but also, Mr. Tillotson, because we communicated about 48 Central a year and a half ago, I think, about this trash issue. There is a nuisance bylaw regarding impacting the sidewalk and a Board of Health regulation about trash on the sidewalk, which I would encourage everybody to review, because that is the basis on which I continue to challenge the board of directors of the condominium association at 48, the trash hauler, and the town of Ayer regarding the 14 rolling trash containers, which often stay out on 48 Central Ave until sometime Sunday afternoon, whenever they get around to removing them. And that is a huge impediment for anyone who uses the sidewalk on a regular basis. But in Mr. Buck's situation, having those containers anywhere near his entry and exit to his driveway will also be a problem, not to mention the 4-unit occupants at 60 Central. The trash containers should not remain out for more than 24 hours. I can appreciate them being there for a couple of hours during the day. I can appreciate that unit owners may not be home for 12 hours a day, given things relaxing after COVID. But if there's any possibility the containers themselves can be located off the sidewalk, that would be a huge benefit, and added ammunition to continue the battle at 48 Central. So that's just my input regarding that. And I use Central Ave 3 or 4 times a day, as Mr. Diskin observed today. So I appreciate that, and thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you. Any other comments from the board or questions for the proponent? I don't have Mark on the screen. I'm going to ask you, Mr. Hayes, to unshare your screen, please. It's been a long time since I've done a Zoom meeting with this many people. I can see you all again.
Yeah.
Mark, so
Yes.
are the other members of the board satisfied that the items in Mr. Buck's letters have been addressed? Because one of the things that Mr. Hayes his response email today was, I will address them this evening during the meeting, because he got the letter today. No, nobody else has a burning issue. Okay, thank you. Mark, how do you want to go forward? And
Yeah.
Ken, are you? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just want to say thank you again to Mr. Buck and all the residents that take the time to write to us and know we're here to listen.
Yeah.
And work on these things.
Sometimes it's out of our scope of influence. Trash bylaws are not overseen by the planning board. We do have bylaws, and like we're doing with the McDonald's, we've spoken to them about how they need to do their containers. And I know the other people here in town who enforce those bylaws are very aware of them. So great. Other questions or points from the board? Mr. Diskin, are you satisfied that the issues that were brought up at our previous meetings have been addressed?
Yes, I am, and I'm ready to make a motion.
Okay. I asked Mr. Diskin, do you want to talk about the surety quickly? That came up quickly. I just want to make sure we tie up all the bows, what the request for surety might be. I think you said earlier you want to make it a different conversation. So.
Okay, so what I wanted to talk about was the fact that we have some recommended special conditions. Those recommendations came from our town planner in his letter. And the first recommendation of these special conditions would be included in our motion for approval. And the first recommendation was, prior to any building permits being issued, the applicant shall submit a construction surety bond or other surety acceptable to the planning board based on a schedule of values agreed to between the applicant and the DPW. And I do not believe that this project is of a sufficient size or complexity that it would require that level of bonding or surety of any sort. And the reason I say that is because there's been many other projects that are way, quite a lot bigger than this, where we did not have surety or bonding and part of the site plan review process. We do, as the applicant mentioned earlier, we do have that potential requirement in a subdivision. I don't think we have it as part of a site plan approval necessarily. And because of the small nature of the site, and I think the time that was spent in double checking, you know, the site and what's going on there, I think the applicant could easily complete this project without us requiring a bond or surety. So when I make my motion, I intended to not include item number 1.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments from the members of the board? I don't, hearing none. I am actually in agreement with you, Mr. Diskin. It is always nice to make sure we're going to be in a situation where if something goes awry, we are covered. But I think I'm probably going to hate saying these words, but I think the amount that could go awry, I mean, it's not a subdivision, it's not a road. We're not laying in utilities. We're not putting down binder. We're not, you know, we're not doing an awful lot of site work, I think is what you're saying, Mr. Diskin.
Yeah, I'm saying that, and
Yeah.
I think you know, the applicant, his desire to get this done is going to override our desire to protect ourselves for a small amount of money.
Appreciate that. Okay. Other questions from the board? Any comments? Hearing none, Mr. Go ahead, Mr.
Jeff, I
Mark.
just
I'm
wanted
sorry,
to
yes.
let you know that I'd like to share the last page of my staff report with the recommended special conditions of which Ken just read the first one.
Please do.
Okay, and the reason I thought about the surety is I do believe the planning board does have the power and in major site plans or site plans that could go wrong to require surety, and I'd rather that you override me on my recommendation than not include it at all for discussion. So nothing personal, but you know, I thought, you know, between the potential blasting and all the work, it was something that was worthwhile to investigate.
I think I agree with Mark's thought process, and I'd like to have it there for all site plans. Thank you.
Okay.
Think
If the board is ready, I could read, you know, two through 6 of the recommended conditions here, since
Please
Mr.
do.
Diskin just read number 1.
Mhm.
So what I have for recommended special condition number 2 is prior to any building permits being issued, the applicant's engineer, and any pertinent contractor shall take part in a pre-construction meeting set up by the town planner and Ayer DPW.
Mhm.
I think that given the tightness of the site and the rock work, it might be good to have that. Number 3, prior to any building permits being issued, the applicant shall submit a long-term operation and maintenance plan for maintenance of the stormwater facilities that is acceptable to the Ayer DPW. And I'd like to note that the applicant, through his engineer, got that to the planning office today, and I immediately forwarded it to the DPW. So we'll be looking at that. So number 3, he actually just submitted.
I'm actually glad you did that, Mark, because I'm looking at the 6-unit one or the 7-unit one farther down the street. They finally did the work in the retention basin last week. They're not done yet, but they're starting to do it, which is good. Go ahead.
Okay, number 4, prior to any certificates of occupancy being issued, the applicant must complete construction of the sidewalk in front of the property on Central Avenue, along with installation of the vertical granite curbing at the driveway entrance. Number 5, prior to any certificates of occupancy being issued, the landscape planting shown on the revised plan set dated September 7th, 2021, and reference in the September 7th, 2021 letter from Foresight Engineering shall be in place. And number 6 is just in case, if it turns out that blasting is required, The applicant to obtain all necessary permits and coordinate blasting with the Ayer Fire Department prior to such blasting taking place. That's all I could think of that I think would be necessary for special conditions, in addition to the standard general conditions like, sweeping and hours of operation and all that sort of thing.
Thank you. On your two conditions, I have two questions, not necessarily
Yes.
to cause any problems at all. Number 4, construction of the sidewalk. If this is, and I'm going to ask Mr. Hayes a question, or maybe you can answer it also. The construction of the sidewalk previous to a certificate of occupancy. If it's February, when they want the first CO, and you can't pave the sidewalk in February, Mark, how do we handle that? Same thing with plantings.
Right. We could say,
So I'm assuming will the sidewalk be binder and finish, Scott?
Yeah, it'll be completely replaced. We're anticipating replacing the base. We're not sure what the base material is, and the 2 coats of asphalt plus the curb for the 100 feet.
So my guess is you'll probably base it, put binder down when you binder the driveway, correct?
Yes.
And then finish when it's done?
Yeah, I mean, the sidewalk, it'd be best to put the top coat down when the top coat goes down for the whole parking lot. That's what I would recommend.
So the reason I asked that question, Mark, is they get going, they get the whole thing started.
right.
I don't want the proponent to have to sit through, December, January,
Typing
February.
something right here, which I think might satisfy it. The planting board
Yeah, I got it.
may grant an exception to this condition upon request of the applicant or something. So that if it is in the winter and the sidewalk or the plantings are not possible, they could get us a letter that states that, the circumstances are warrants, they're very close to completing things, and the planning board can make an exception.
Yeah. Without taking a surety, I think that wouldn't be, language to this effect wouldn't be a bad idea. This is very similar to the work we did over on, the new yard for Cataldo, if you recall. They couldn't plant it because of the, they couldn't complete the parking lot or plant because it was winter time. But
Yep.
keeping them out of the building would have been punitive. So,
I like the idea of the exception, Mark, but I wouldn't put upon request. I just paid, I guess.
yeah, the planning board may grant an exception. I would say
Condition.
grant an exception.
Based on weather or based on season, something like that.
Based upon seasonality.
Sure.
Yeah, whatever the
Yeah.
appropriate.
Based on appropriate season for the work.
Okay,
It would be unfair to the florist to tell them they can't
right.
move somebody in
Right.
in January.
How about appropriate seasonal conditions?
Okay.
Something.
Right. We wouldn't want them to force it to do it in the wrong.
Right.
season and then up-
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
You
they're
must
not
plant
gonna,
the trees in February.
yeah, you're not gonna find an open asphalt plant anywhere in Massachusetts in February.
Right,
So,
okay.
and this may be language that we want to use
Now
in
we-
others. Yeah,
One other
Right.
change, Mark, you might have to change the date now to September 24th from the 7th.
Oh, right, because
You're right.
the latest plan set is dated the 24th, right?
thank you.
Yep,
And I had one, if you're done, Jeff,
Please, Mr. Diskin.
I had one on the last paragraph. I'd take out the wording, "it turns out."
If
that-
blasting is required, yeah.
oh,
Mhm.
okay, so if blasting is required,
And basically what it comes down to is
Yeah.
if blasting is required, Ayer is the granting authority, Ayer Fire.
right,
So,
yes,
Yep, okay, good.
Yep.
They'll obtain necessary permits and any required insurance or other requirements beyond our control.
Yeah.
Any permits or requirements beyond our control, I guess, I don't know.
And required insurance.
I'd say any permits and other requirements beyond, it's just, you know, it's going to be up to Ayer
Yep.
Fire.
Triple ten. Yep, okay. Does that look good now?
Well, they have to grant a permit, I guess, the fire department. So
Yeah.
Right,
he doesn't
yes.
coordinate with them. He has to get their authorization.
Right, exactly. Okay, so.
Can we just say permits and conditions of the Air Fire Department?
Yeah, that's fine. Permits and conditions of the Air Fire Department.
So if blasting is required, the applicant shall obtain all necessary permits and requirements.
In requirements.
There we
yeah.
go. Yep,
Permits and conditions of,
Requirements.
from, yeah. Yep. Here we go.
As
Okay.
established by the
Okay.
fire department.
Of course, Mr. Hayes, I want to ask how you feel about this. This goes fast and loose
actually, we
sometimes.
would, so we're deleting the first one, so that's, so
Good.
I crossed that one out.
Yep.
I think that those conditions are fine. We really appreciate you not requiring the bond. That's helpful. Nothing else objectionable here to the applicant.
Yep, and so we'll renumber those 1 through 5. And we'll be good to go.
Yep, yeah,
Okay,
I'll clean this up.
Any other comments from the board members? Otherwise, Mr. Diskin, if you're ready to make a motion.
I'll wait to hear from Nathan and Julie.
Okay.
No comment.
Julie gave us a thumbs up, Ken.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion that the Air Planning Board approve the site plan review for 60 Central Ave, revision dated 9/24/21. In accordance and include in that recommendation, the inclusion of the recommended general conditions, special conditions, excuse me, now numbered 2 to 6, soon to be numbered 1 to 5,
Yep,
shown by the town planner.
I'll second that. It's been moved by Mr. Diskin, seconded by Mr. Tillotson. Any further discussion from the board? You gotta unmute your mics, guys.
I have
I'm sorry?
I have a discussion.
Go ahead, Mr. Diskin.
I just want to emphasize that the conditions will include all the documents, Mark, as we are aware of in the past, but I want to make sure the public is aware that all the letters and communication with the DPW.
right, so that's the notice of decision that Heather will type up. Yes, it will
Yes.
include all the documents and the various drafts of the plan and dates and
Okay, so the final.
the
decision-
letters from the DPW. Yeah, that goes into the notice of decision,
Okay, thank
which
you.
includes the conditions as well as the findings. Right. Yep.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none. Mr. King, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Murray, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Diskin, how do you vote?
Aye.
The chair votes aye. Are we done with the site plan review for this?
I would like to just echo one thing that you said, Chair, a few weeks ago, which is, encouraging the neighbors to work together. I think we saw a lot of good cooperation already with the town and with the developer. And I think that, keeping those lines of communication open will go a long way to having a successful project and good neighbors.
Yeah, thank you. And it's obvious we can't fix every problem, but we do want to hear what they are and see if there's anything we can handle. We would like to include it. Mark, wouldn't you mind unsharing the screen, please?
Yep.
Thank you very much. Does that complete the site plan review for 60 Central Avenue? We're gonna need to type something up. We also need to get signatures. Am I correct, Mark?
Yes.
Okay. So under pandemic rules, when will whatever we need to sign be available? How soon should we plan on signing?
Well, personally, I can prepare my part of the report quickly. I usually, the administrative coordinator, Heather, prepares the draft notice of decision, and I review it and I don't know, what do you think, Heather? Just a few
I'm
days?
gonna say, depending on figuring how much work I have with the building department right now, that's time sensitive because they've already been, applications have been submitted. I'm gonna say at the earliest next Wednesday.
Okay. So we'll keep an eye on our emails, looking for a request to come on and do the signatures. Is that fair? And Mr.
Yes.
Hayes, why don't you and Mr. Flores, we'll keep tabs on that and get you in the loop as quickly as we can. And I'll also tell you, I'm actually going to be out of town through Monday. So starting tomorrow until Monday. So gives them a little bit of time also. Well, thank you very much. Anything else we need to do to complete this agenda item, Mark?
No, I believe we're all set on this
Thank you.
case.
Okay, well, thank you very much. And I want to say thank you to the people who joined the meeting this evening regarding this. We don't have to close this because it's just been approved, right?
Right.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Hayes.
Mr.
Next
Chair,
on our,
members of the board, thank you.
thanks. Sorry,
night.
we're back in the Zoom world site. I don't have my, it's not going quite as, boy, I can't imagine we get a big project in a little while. We have to
We'll
get
get there.
unrusty. We'll have to get unrusty again. Okay, great. Thank you. So next on our agenda is a continued public hearing for the special permit for 14 Washington Street and the continued site plan review for 14 Washington Street. We should probably open the continuation before we discuss this. Am I correct?
Sure.
I need a motion. I'm assuming we don't, I mean, I have no materials. Do we have any materials for
Right.
this?
No, we have nothing. I believe Mr. Goldsmith sent us a letter with a granting an extension until our first meeting in October, which is on the 12th. The date might have actually been the 14th, but whoops, did I lose everybody?
No,
Oh, okay.
Well, we may not be on your screen anymore, but we can see you, Mark.
Oh, no, I see what happened. I was. So, yeah, we can discuss it once we open it.
do we have to vote to open it?
Have we in the past? I think we've just, as long as we don't really get into substantial issues, I think if we're just discussing timelines
Okay.
and that sort of thing, I think we can do it without opening the hearing.
I honestly couldn't remember what we did at the last meeting.
Yeah.
I saw this and it made me, my blood start. Not a lot of things get my blood going. This one got my blood going this time. Okay, Ken, do you have any comments?
I thought at the last meeting, we agreed that there would be a letter forwarded to the applicant regarding the immediacy of the issue to be resolved somehow.
I think I did.
Oh, maybe you already did it. Okay,
Yeah, I
Okay.
believe so. Yes.
okay. So
That my recollection also was we were going to,
I missed it,
kinda-
though I could easily be wrong.
no, that's my recollection is we were going to reach out to the applicant and ask him where this is going. I have a feeling that we are still in a holding pattern. Is that correct, Mark?
Yes.
Okay.
However, discussing this with, a few other, staff people here, we were of the opinion internally that, if new plans are not forthcoming by this new extension date, that we'll have a hard decision to make as to whether to grant another extension or to say, we have to withdraw this one without prejudice and take up a new site plan and possibly special permits when they're ready.
My understanding is a special permit can't be applied for 2 years.
It depends on what it is. I think if the planning board acts on the special permit and denies it, that's one thing, but we haven't issued any decisions. So I don't think that's the case. And the special permits were tied to parking. In my understanding, last time they were getting very close to submit something new, is my understanding was the parking issues that were part of the initial submittal may not be the case now. So they may not need to file special permits for the parking.
Okay.
But again, you know, we won't know for sure until they actually submit something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, from a procedural standpoint, do we need to continue this?
Yes, I think we should
Okay.
continue it to the
Mr.
next
Diskin,
meeting.
do you mind?
No, I'll let someone else make the motion.
Okay. Mr. King or Ms. Murray, I'm happy to make the motion. The chair will make the motion if it's okay with you.
I'll do it.
Okay, thank you.
We have to do both the public hearing and the special.
And
permit?
just one at a time. Yeah.
I'm sorry, so I move to continue the public hearing for 14 Washington, special permit 14 Washington Street to our next meeting, October 12th.
Yes.
Second. Moved by Ms. Murray, seconded by the chair. Any further discussion? Hearing none.
I have a
Mr. Dis, I'm sorry, Mr.
Chair.
King, go ahead. Yeah. Mhm.
There's one more meeting within our already authorized extension. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. They
that-
gave us until the 14th.
Mhm.
And I don't know if that's because they expect us to act on the 12th and whatever, but
Right, but the 12th is the drop dead right now.
that's our next meeting. Yep.
Yes.
Got it.
For clarification, I think the drawings had to be in a certain number of days before the 12th,
Right.
5 days before the 12th,
Yes.
on the 12th.
Correct. They,
Not on the 12th at 4:27 in the afternoon like we've had. People are getting better about that. They really are. So, okay, other comments? Mr. Diskin, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Murray?
Aye.
Mr. King?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. And now motion for the second one, please.
Yep. I move that we continue the site plan review for 14 Washington Street to our next meeting on October 12th.
Seconded. Moved by Ms. Murray, seconded by the chair. Any further discussion from the board? This time I gave you a second, Mr. King. How's that? Hearing
appreciate it.
none. Mr. King, how do you vote?
Aye.
Thank you, Ms. Murray. How do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Diskin?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Thank you very much. Okay, next on our list is town planner update.
okay, what I'd like to bring up for tonight's town planner update is I was talking with Dan Van Schalkwyk, who, as you know, will be the new DPW director very soon. And one thing that I brought up with him is, as you know, in the past, both Mark and Dan have reviewed every site plan and every subdivision that has come before us in-house. And occasionally we've had to hire outside experts, but for the most part, we've relied on their expertise, which has served us very well. But seeing how Dan will be a new DPW director and the town will need to hire a replacement for the engineering position, I asked him if it might be helpful to them if in the future, when we receive large site plans or large subdivisions, that the planning board might be willing to hire outside consulting firms to do the engineering review work for us. And he said, you know, he was open to that idea, that would help him. Certainly in the early days of when he takes over the reins over there. So I invited him to attend our October 12th meeting just to have an informal discussion with us about how the planning board and the DPW can interface and work together in the new era when he becomes a DPW director. And, you know, I think we have a relatively light agenda on the 12th. Notwithstanding 14 Washington. So I thought that would be a good time to discuss this.
Okay, thank you. Anything we need to prepare for that, or just be nice to
No,
Dan?
I think
Just be nice to Dan like we always are.
Just perhaps think about it and also perhaps review the subdivision regulations that talk about hiring outside consultants. And maybe review those sections of the subdivision regs, because it goes into a lot of detail about what type of consultants the planning board can hire and under what conditions. And I need to review those again as well, but I think that will inform us when we talk to Dan.
Okay.
You know, and it may be that, you know, very minor site plans and, you know, maybe simple 2 or 3 lot subdivisions are simple enough that we can do it in-house. But if we get, you know, another large subdivision, you know, 20 lots or something, you know, that might be a good time to think of, you know, an independent consultant.
Okay. I'm open to that. I also
Yeah.
would be, I would very much value Dan's input on who he would recommend if he knows of anybody, because Dan, I know. So something that I hear when I'm traveling around the state and working with other municipalities for doing some of the stuff we're doing with the advocacy I work on, is I often hear that our little group in Ayer is well thought of around the state for what they do. And the DPW does a great job. So we'll be interested to also ask him if he has any recommendations. Well, thank you very much.
Yep.
Do you have anything else in the way of announcements?
No, just preparing for the future meetings. You know, that's basically it. I need to also, as you know, to finalize the scope of the traffic study
Mhm.
For Stratton Hill. So I'll be
Yep.
doing that over the next few days.
Yep. And
Yeah.
just, I'm going to touch on that quickly. I know you wanted to talk with some of us, Mark, about this the other day, and I'm sorry,
Yep.
I'm buried this week. I can't believe it. People, we're still working. Mark has the scope of the traffic study, and he's also got one submitted by some of the abutters to Stratton Hill. And so what Mark's going to do, because it's something that takes time to do, is he's going to come up with a draft request for proposal using input from both of these sources. And that's it. We're not going out looking for anybody right now. So I just want to put that on the table. Just Mark needs to get some work done between now and then. And in the idea of being as transparent as possible for the folks at Stratton Hill, this is just work that would go on anyway and needs to go on in order for the process to continue to move forward. Is that a fair way of describing it, Mr. Diskin?
Yes.
Okay, great, thanks. Cool. Anything else in the way of announcements, Mark?
No, that's all I have this evening.
Okay, next is administrative announcements, old and new business. I've got something under old business. Anybody else have anything they want to bring up?
I just have a quickie, just to let you know that there was an on-site meeting, pre-construction meeting set up by Mark on Monday for the Panther Place. So they met in the field with the DPW, with conservation, with Mark invited me. Police, fire, all the departments in town that are involved with life safety or construction or permitting street cuts or whatever you want to call it. And a nice little agenda was put out by, again, Dan Van Skelwick, and he ran the meeting and basically broke it down into permits, scope of work and schedule, and project requirements, just to give you an idea of how he broke it down. And ran right through each category with the owner's on-site supervisor, and the owner's excavation contractor. So they were all in attendance, and it was a good meeting. So he's got what he needs. He knows what he has to do. And Mr. Schultz was also there and gave him any small comments on what would be required before we get a building permit. He kind of indicated to us, just to give you a summary, and I think it's important, that the work that he'll be doing, most of the work that he'll be doing this winter will be the 6 units, 4 lots, 2 lots having two families along Washington Street. So he's going to start with the 128 lots, move from there to the 2 lots that are still coming out of conservation that are at the, fronting Washington Street, just to the, whatever it is, north or east of the entrance road.
On the downhill side.
Downhill side.
Yep.
And mostly concern himself with the clearing of only the portion of the work that involves the road construction over the winter through the site. And then as he goes back through conservation for the lots, that the lots will come out one, in groups or whatever, but pretty much has a good plan, to not bombing away, just taking on those lots on Washington Street first, and working out the details on water and sewer connections with the DPW and stuff like that. So that's just a little report there.
Well, I also want to add one thing is Mr. Diskin was deputized and he went out and walked the silt fencing.
Exactly. So that was good.
Mr. Diskin's finding all kinds of ways to participate here in town. Thank you very much. Something else in the under the old business, and we've discussed this, and you know, Mr. King, I'm not sure you were on the board when I brought this up the last time, but I did get a communication today. As many of you know, or you all know, I'm involved with I'm the appointee from the board to the Affordable Housing Trust, and Mr. Diskin is actually on the Affordable Housing Committee. There has, and should I share the email or should I just
Summarize.
I'll summarize. So really what it comes down to is there is some concern with the new music venue going in up the street, that people here in town may be looking at Ayer as being a great place to have an Ayer Airbnb, not an AYER, but an AIRBNB. We had started looking at Airbnb at Airbnbs. It was the issue over on Sandy Pond of people doing stuff over there. And I know we're probably looking at a fairly busy winter with the projects we're looking at here, but I would like to, and I'm more than happy to take the lead on this when I get back from my trip this week, to start looking at putting in some bylaws for some Airbnb type bylaws. We wouldn't need to present it to the town until the fall of next year. The timing would be like that. We'd probably miss a little bit of a window of where people could do it or not. And the city of Boston has put together a fairly interesting approach to Airbnbs. And I will share that with everybody I'll share the link with everybody on the board between now and then. But I'll take that on as a to-do for myself, because that is, as you all know, something that's been in my mind for a while. We've got the accessory use bylaw, which is nice. Now we need to take care of the Airbnb. And the thinking about this is, there's a couple of reasons to do it. And one of the reasons is we do not have a lot of rental property in this town. And Airbnb becomes a competitor for property that would otherwise be available for rent. So that's one of the reasons why it's been brought to me. It's been brought to my attention. So I'll have more about that in a little while.
For clarity, Jeff, you are saying you're being very intentional to say bylaw, not regulation. I think I agree with, but that's the intent.
You know, to be honest with you, Nathan, really good question. I think it needs to be a bylaw. I think it needs to be something that people understand.
I agree.
Okay. And it needs to mean, you know, people are gonna say, oh, that's restrictive. Oh, I've got freedom. Oh, I can do that. But, you know, I do know people who live next door to a place that is rented by the day. And over in a 90-day season, it's rented out 45 to 50 times. That has a detrimental impact on the neighborhood. So the city of Boston has, you know, put in some guidelines around timing and stuff. So let me do some research on Boston. Let me do some research on other towns around here that have done this. And I think what we'll do is put it all on the table, figure out what pieces we like, what pieces we don't like, see if it actually applies. It's not all applicable. But what we'll do is come up with what we might think is a reasonable and fair way to handle what could be another draw on our rental stock.
Right. And yeah. And my comment is the bylaw puts it in front of the town, which is, I think, the right approach versus a regulation. And I think it's significant enough that I agree with that direction. And I'm not making any comment about the content of the bylaw. That's clearly we'll be working on, you'll be working on that, and we'll discuss it. But I do agree with the bylaw approach.
Other comments on that? Otherwise, I'm going to make one more plea to everybody. I really was looking forward to the presentation from NOAA, the group that's doing the comprehensive project over on Fitchburg Road. And for people who are listening, the code of comprehensive project is also referred to as a 40B. And so I guess that's been moved. I forget the date. Is it October 2nd? No,
Fifth.
I'm sorry.
I think it's the 5th.
Okay, one way or the other, I would ask you all to zoom in or watch on the TV set, which I tend to do. The selectmen are great on TV. But I don't, it's not going to be in person from my understanding. That we're all on Zoom. So I'm really looking forward to hearing the presentation. I've seen some of the preliminary drawings. I think Mr. Diskin's seen them also. And this is quite an opportunity for the town of Ayer, to be honest with you. And so I would hope that you all would, and I can't remember the name of the project over there now.
I think just call it Air Commons. something
Air
like that.
Commons, thank you. Yeah, anything like that. Anything else on people's minds, new or old business? Nope. Okay. Our upcoming meetings are October 12th and October 26th. I would ask the members of the public to keep an eye on the Ayer Planning Board website for information about joining the meetings. We'd love to have people in the meetings with us. With that, I would. Does anybody have any comments? We have still have a couple people in the audience. Hearing none, I would ask for a motion to adjourn. And thank you all for doing this evening.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. King. We have a motion to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Ms. Murray, you have to say something.
Aye.
Aye. Great, guys. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
All
We'll
right.
see you in a couple
Yeah,
weeks.
good night.